Once again, Bitcoin has been rejected off of the 200 daily moving average as our piggy banks run dry. As micro bullish after micro bullish patterns evaporate before our eyes, will Bitcoin muster the courage to maintain a higher low? And with Bitcoin options expiring today, does this mark the sell-off conclusion? And after weeks of filling out paperwork, will my fast food application be rejected? I'm your host, Frankie Fast Food, and on this channel we put the in. Welcome back. Can I take your order? All jokes aside, boy are we in store for an absolutely exhilarating weekend. Could this be the weekend that our dreams are crushed, or in fact, will we confirm a double bottom or perhaps a reversal pattern? Or in fact, is there something much more dubious in store? So you guys to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. And without any further ado, let's dump in. Huge! So we can start off here with $2.2 billion worth of Bitcoin options contracts expiring today. And this is something a few people have been covering for the past few days as anticipation of this happening, and it happens fairly often. So again, does this expiration today mark the bottom of Bitcoin sell-off, or in fact, is there more carnage to come? So if we take a look here on the daily chart for Bitcoin, guys, it has been clear as day as the 21, the 50, the 100, and the 200-day moving averages for Bitcoin have been absolutely decimated in one of the biggest, quickest, and most jaw-dropping collapses in the price history of Bitcoin. And as you can see, ever since May 19th, when we got the move from about 44,000 all the way down to our local bottom of about 28,000 US dollars on some exchanges, I believe right around 30 on most, Bitcoin has only held 1 day above the 200-day moving average, okay? And it's been below all of the other key moving averages. And as we've been saying, if we want to maintain any amount of bullishness, $40,000 being reclaimed is absolutely critical. And up to this point, we have failed that. However, the only thing we have done in terms of this price structure over the past 9 days is put in a higher low structure. So guys, this bottom formation that we have formed is so far still holding strongly. We have the 30K bounce a little below on some exchanges, and then 4 days later, the 31K bounce, almost really getting very strong bounces at both of these levels. However, equally on the opposite side, we have gotten key rejection after key rejection at 42 and 40,000 US dollars, which initially 42 was the major rejection level after our bounce back in on May 19th, going into May 20th, the day after, in our recovery bounce. Quick rejection at 42, and then since then, pretty much 40,000 even has been a concrete level that Bitcoin has been unable to break above. And we've had many micro patterns being formed on these charts with Bitcoin over the past few days, and every single one of them up until this point has actually been failing. These breakouts have not been giving us a nice recovery bounce. However, when setting a bottom, there are many, many days of just sideways trading and trying to regain stabilization, and really just not super exciting price action. So again, Bitcoin is most likely going to consolidate regardless. And all I mean by that is in the immediate short term, we're probably just going to see many, many days of kind of boring price action, sideways price action, as the real direction is confirmed. Wow, and these type of bottoms are usually not the type of bottoms that I like to see on a Friday night, am I right? However, we have gotten a move now back after bouncing at 35 just a few hours ago, roughly about 6 hours ago, as I'm recording here, right, we had a nice, pretty steep downtrend after, again, getting rejected right at 40K within the last 24 hours. And at this point, Bitcoin is just trying to maintain this structure. And again, it's not lights out until any of this bottoming structure would be broken. And guys, before we go any further, the entire altcoin market cap actually as well is looking a little bit weaker after getting rejected off of the 50-day moving average. We have now 2 confirmed days of getting rejected off the 50-day moving average. And in fact, we're starting to see shape up what we've already seen shape up for Bitcoin. And that is a 21 going below the 50 DMA, daily moving average, which is in fact a bearish cross. As price is being squeezed and squinched in between the next moving average, the 100-day moving average, and the 50-day moving average. So again, altcoins absolutely by far need to maintain at least this. But guys, this is the real question. Are we going to be given yet another chance, perhaps for a few weeks here, of actually getting very nice entries into some of these coins. As, let's be honest, the technicals that have really shined over the past 24, 48 hours are screaming bearish, the technicals in the short term. However, the fundamentals could not be stronger. But guys, let's be honest, the cryptocurrency market cap as a whole, Bitcoin and altcoins included, are seeing some very bearish rejections and failure to get above some key points. So again, this is normal and expected within a recovery. However, the time is running out, and if we are going to get a boost in the short term, we are really running out of time here, and Bitcoin needs to be performing. As I said, within the last few days, I said we have about a week before we are going to be shut out of this opportunity. And I think that, by this time next week, or maybe by like Wednesday of next week, if we have not seen a strong bounce by then, if we have not seen a reversal in this momentum, and if we have not seen Bitcoin reclaim a lot of these moving averages and just a lot of these critical levels that have been clear rejections, then it is likely that Bitcoin is going to range sideways, and altcoins as well are not going to be able to keep up a lot of the momentum if Bitcoin is getting shut down here. However, again, my opinion here, if we look on this daily chart, we have two confirmed very strong bounces at key levels, both being higher lows. Okay, one higher low. We have the low and then a higher low. And we have to see here if we're going to maintain these levels, because if we actually drop below 31,000, then that becomes mega bearish and the ultimate confirmation in my mind that we're going to spend at least a couple weeks in a bearish trend for Bitcoin and altcoins. And that absolutely does not mean a 1 to 2 year bear market at all. Okay, I think that would make zero sense, because if we would enter a bear trend within this this bull market, okay, again, I mean, best thing we have to compare it to is the exact time we did that back in 2013, which again is something I've been talking about for a long time. And as well, I've also said that I don't think these cycles will ever be exactly the same. However, I think it is very likely that we could be repeating a structure as similar as this. And this is something we were saying back in like August, September, and October of 2020. So like 8 months ago, this is something I said makes a lot of sense. And why? Why was I saying that back then? You can go back and watch those videos if you want. But the main reason that I was thinking that was Bitcoin exploded so fast without any major pullbacks, okay? And the altcoins obviously did very well as well. And I just think it went way too fast to be sustainable. And with that being said, time is a key factor in these bull markets. So I do think it is possible that we could enter a consolidation period like this, like we saw back in 2013. Okay, not exactly, but before having another massive run up at some point still this year, potentially, if it doesn't happen early enough, it could even bleed over into 2022. And again, there are also those theories that we could just enter a bear trend for the next 2 to 3 months, 2, 3, 4 months, and then have another massive rise up that could continue well into 2022. And as boring as it sounds, really nothing has happened, nothing too exciting, nothing too groundbreaking, and nothing cycle changing has happened just yet, as long as we maintain this structure. And again, this is a very speculative pattern that I just put on here. Always look for this. We have a very clear level of resistance between like 42 to 40,000 US dollars per Bitcoin, this huge level of resistance. And we so far do have ascending support here. Actually, if we raise this and kind of drag this out a little bit, get the initial drop down to about 30, then to 31, and so far the low being 35. But again, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, which I think many of you were very well aware of, is just the possibility that there's nothing preventing us from going back to the mid $30,000 range, like I said yesterday. And so far, I mean, obviously we have now been to the mid $35,000 or the mid $30,000 range, right at about exactly 35,000 US dollars. So how this next move shapes up will either confirm, in my opinion, if we're going to be entering a multi-week, potentially multi-month bear trend, or in fact, this is just a very quick reversal. And guys, at this point, I think it's very early to tell. In my opinion, again, as I've been saying, I personally think this is the bottom around 30K. But as I said, that does not mean that we're going to see fun price action in the short term. I've been saying this ever since May 19th. This price action is most likely going to be pretty tedious, pretty boring, and pretty not fun. Alright, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn those good notifications so you miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. Make sure to get your hardware wallets and check out the bonuses in the description and links below. And without any further ado, that's it for me. Bye-bye.